Hey everybody, it's your guy Josh G, and today I have the pleasure of sitting here at this table with the champion, Lee Michaud with USA Diving. Lee, how are you today?
Doing great, thanks for having me.
100%. So for those of you that don't know, Lee is the president of USA Diving, and if we all love the Olympics, we all know that diving is one of our top sports to watch, one of the top events. But today I want to talk about you, Lee, and your journey here to the Treasure Coast. So I gotta ask, right, as a young kid, right, I know you've been diving for most of your life.
Yeah.
Most kids wake up and say, hey, I want to be a firefighter, a policeman, a doctor, an astronaut.
Yeah.
Who wakes up and says, I want to be a diver? Can you tell me about that journey? Did you grow up around water? Was it in your blood? Tell me about your journey about becoming into diving.
Yeah, very few people that grow up and want to be divers. I'll tell you what, the crazy ones sometimes do.
Yeah, extreme sports, right?
There you go, X Games and all that. So I think the reality is that if water was in my blood from the time I was little. My mom was a competitive swimmer. My brother and I were in the water from the time we could walk, basically, and so we were swimming. I started out in gymnastics at about 6 or 7 years old. By 9, I was a competing elite gymnast, and I hurt my back. And one of the things I had to do for rehab was they put me in a pool with a kickboard, kicking laps back and forth, which, by the way, no offense to swimmers, is the most boring thing you've ever done in your life. Would never choose to do it otherwise. But what I did do is I saw people diving, and I was like, I can do that. That looks super cool. When I got
that was exciting, right? Not kicking your legs in a pool, right?
Not counting tiles along the bottom, but seeing people doing flips and stuff was really
You were
cool.
like, I want in on that, so I'm going to keep kicking so I get my back better.
Every day. That's
Got
right.
it.
After a while, I went there, I tried out, I was able to join a team, had a really good coach, got lucky. We had an outstanding coach at that time. He was a guy who trained a couple of Olympians and a bunch of NCAA champions. He's no longer in the sport, but I got really lucky at that point. Loved it, did very well at a young age, won a world championship when I was 13. A bunch of national championships. Ended up moving from Oregon, which was where I was living, down to California to train with a great club, Mission Viejo, California club. When I was 14, was there for 4 years, graduated and went to University of Michigan, NCAA All-American,
wow,
national team 10 times, and Pan American Games, and a good career. It allowed me to do some things I never would have been able to do. So coming from where I was, my family couldn't afford to send me to a school like Michigan.
What a great university, and they're always winning champions. They always put together great sports programs across all different athletics.
Yeah, and we had great coaches at the time. The diving coach there was 5-time Olympic coach, and he was fantastic.
Wow.
I mean, amazing stuff. And what's Michigan? Great school. Like I said, I couldn't have afforded to. D1 scholarship is what allowed me to get there, and diving gave me the ability to do some things I would never have been able to do in my life. I saw a bunch of the world, traveled with the national team, places that I could never have gone to. Did some really amazing things and met some amazing people, and was able to get an incredible education because of it. So when you say that, I wish more kids did dream about diving, because maybe they can get the same sort of pathway I did.
Absolutely, because yeah, a lot of people think basketball, football, some of the major sports that are on TV, but we all know that journey, even to get a scholarship into a D1 school, that it starts to get really tight.
It does.
And then after that, if you're not focusing on your academics and hoping you make it to the pros, man, that gate gets even more narrower.
It really does.
So it sounds like it's a little bit more, not for the lack of wrong word to use, easier, but maybe more opportunity in some more of these unique sports like aquatics, right? Diving, swimming.
Yep.
I know I have friends who went on scholarships for field hockey, lacrosse,
Sure,
a lot of different sports, and diving being one of them. And it's exciting because I think there's a revival in diving as well, right? Because I know we have some championship teams here on the Treasure Coast. So I want to ask you, we're sitting here in beautiful Vero Beach today. What brought you to the Treasure Coast? Because you know what Hype Local says, the Treasure Coast is the best coast. So what brought you here? Because it sounds like more you're a West Coast guy besides your time in Michigan.
Yeah, good question. First of all, Treasure Coast is the best coast, no question about it. You can't beat a day like today.
Absolutely.
When I left Michigan, I went into transportation, started a little business, sold it to a larger business, which landed me back in Seattle. It's where I raised my daughter.
So you couldn't get away. It brought you back to Seattle.
It did, yeah. I went back to the West Coast and raised her there. And then after a period of time when we did pretty well, that company and we actually got bought out by a publicly traded company who made some acquisitions in the Midwest. And in the meantime, my daughter had gone to Michigan for college. They moved me to Indiana, and what the company did to run this company that they had acquired in a little town in Indiana. It was a mess. There was a lot of fixing to do there. We had I'll put it this way, they were bleeding money at the beginning, but by the time we got done, they were doing all right, making money, carved things up a little bit, unfortunately, but you do what you
Kind
got
of
to
goes
do.
with mergers and acquisitions, kind of goes with it, but it shows that you have that business acumen as well. Not only you can kill it on the platform, you know what you're doing in the boardroom.
I was the fixer. That was what I did. Yeah.
That's great.
So anyway, they sat me there. We did a good job. We carved it up and made it profitable. And I keep saying carve it up. That's not fair. But at the end of the day, we went from a substantial 125 or so $1 million a year company down to about an $80 million a year company. And I worked my way out of a job, essentially.
So you were too good.
Yeah, I guess you could say that. I guess you could say that. So they wanted me to move to Dallas and work with them in M&A, and that wasn't happening. I didn't want to move to Dallas. I didn't want to put a tie on every single day. So we amicably parted ways.
Mentioning that you were on the West Coast for your diving.
Yep.
You're now in Indiana.
Yep.
You're so good at what you did, you worked yourself out of a job.
I did. Yeah.
So now what brought you back to diving? Because I don't know if you go on Indeed or LinkedIn and there's a posting saying, hey, we need a president of USA Diving.
Yeah.
So how did you find out about that opportunity and how did you seize it?
That's a great question. That's a great question. Was done with the old life, right? We had finished up with transportation. My kid had graduated Michigan and was deferred for a year before she went to med school. And I'm sitting in my office, and you're absolutely right. You don't go on Indeed to find these jobs. And I wasn't really sure what I was going to do, right? I was not in a hurry. Wasn't really sure. So I'm sitting in the office, drinking my coffee. Kid comes running down the stairs with her iPad. Dad, you get the USA Diving is looking for a CEO and you got to apply. And I'm like, wait a minute, what are you talking about? So I grabbed the iPad, I take a look. Sure enough, she had gone on to the USOPC's website, had found this job posting.
Get out of here.
Nope, I swear, for a president, CEO of USA Diving. And I'm like, I haven't talked to any of these people in a long time. I've been removed from the sport for over 2 decades. Say, okay, you know what, I'll make a phone call. So I called the chairman of the board. We talked for a little while. He hooked me up with the guy who was doing the job search, and we spent about 5 hours on a Saturday afternoon talking about diving and where diving was at. And the reason they were looking for a CEO is because, quite frankly, there was a dumpster fire.
Gotcha. So that's why they put that posting up is, we got a problem.
Yeah,
We're historically champions.
Yeah.
We need to fix this.
that's right.
And again, you mentioned earlier, you're a fixer.
I'm a fixer.
All right, so tell me, so you have this opportunity to meet with them.
Yeah.
Obviously, they offered you the job.
Yeah.
So how did you turn it around?
We started out by looking at what were the big ticket problems, and they were everywhere.
Okay.
Finances weren't great. The board of directors had their own issues. There were problems with the bylaws and the policies and procedures. And so the new chair and I spent a bunch of time taking a look. What's the low-hanging fruit? What can you do first? And the first thing was to rewrite the bylaws. And then second thing was to take a look. Okay, we restructured the board of directors, and now all of a sudden you've got a basis for being able to move an organization forward. USOPC mandated certain things that we had to do, right? The Olympic Committee said, if you don't do these things, we're going to blow you up, essentially. And it was that bad for a while.
Wow.
But as we fixed things and as we built a base and moved the organization forward, it became easier and easier. We did restructure the board. We did rewrite the bylaws, We also ended up with taking a look at how do we bring athletes more into the fold?
Because not everybody wakes up and says, I want to be a diver.
That's right. We need to grow the footprint, number one. And then with the athletes that work in there, we really wanted their input on how should the organization run? Because it's about
Boots
them.
on the ground. It's them. They're the ones that are going to be doing the diving and bringing home that hardware.
There you go. End of the day, it's all about them. And so that's what we built it on. And I think here we are almost 6.5 years later. And I think we're doing a really good job of developing our young talent. We've got some great young kids who are superstars that are winning medals in events. They leave on Monday for Madrid to do one of the bigger events of the year, and then they're going to go from Madrid to Bolzano, and there's an event in Porto Flavia, and then they come back home. This is an odd year because it's middle of a quad. So in the Olympic sports, you go 4-year cycles that are called quads. We're in the middle year, right? We're 2 years away from an Olympics. We're 2 years post-Paris. There is no World Championships this year. Next year, we got a World Championships and a Pan American Games. It's a big deal next year in the calendar.
So there's other championships for diving outside of the Olympics, because I think most people like me only really get to see diving at the Olympics.
Oh, yeah.
And you're talking about going to Europe, to Madrid and everything. Can you tell us more about the diving circuit or the opportunities for these kids and young athletes out there who might be considered thinking, oh, there's not as much opportunity in diving as there is basketball or football or baseball. Yeah. It sounds like there's a lot of opportunity if you got other events to be able to do in Europe and across the world. Can you tell us more about that?
Absolutely. So there's a World Cup series, which is a pro series where people actually can make money at diving now. There was a time when that was not the case. And it's usually 3 stops, and it's usually early in the year. Right now, they're in the middle part of the season, and there's still prize money at events. It's a different level than it used to be when I was diving 100 years ago. But the reality is that they've got there's good opportunities for international competition at all levels, whether you're a junior, we call them juniors, 14 years old or something like that, or whether you're a seasoned senior, there's opportunities across the board. And we support our national team. We send them, they travel, they train. We finance a lot. We finance most of it. There's some of this self-finance, but most of the opportunities we finance, and we send teams around the country. So again, there'll be there'll be Spain and Italy this summer, Croatia for the Junior World Championships, that's in August. Next summer, it's Pan American Games, which is in South America. It's in Lima, Peru. World Championships are in Budapest. And then, of course, we're going to host the Olympics in 28 in Los Angeles.
Let's go.
Man, I am so jazzed about it.
And you know we're home turf, so it's gold or nothing,
That's
right?
That's right. Host nation,
Yes.
we get all the perks.
We have to.
Absolutely.
Yes.
And it's great stuff. And people are already beginning to open up you should see all the social media coverage we're already beginning to get. It's really exciting.
So what I'm hearing here, Lee, is that there's plenty of opportunity
Yes.
for our athletes who are into aquatics, who literally have water in their blood, right?
Yep.
Who want opportunities. It sounds like they have opportunities if they are a good diver, put the time in.
Sure.
You have the very good possibility of getting a D1 scholarship.
Yep.
You also have the possibility now of being able to monetize that and dive for money,
Yep.
and also traveling the world to so many amazing cities across the world,
Yeah.
and taking that cultural experience with them.
Yeah.
And then they also get to participate in the Olympics after that tour, right?
Yeah.
Since this is an in-between type time, you want to keep them fresh and keep them ready. And plus we get to kind of size up the competition as well, right?
Yep.
Awesome. So now we're waiting for the Olympics. It's 2 years out.
Yeah.
You're here on the Treasure Coast.
I am.
You're here on the best coast. What brought you here?
That's a great question.
Hey everybody, it's your guy Josh G, hanging out today at the beautiful Kimpton Hotel. They were gracious enough to host myself, Hype Local, Edge Hydration Fitness, and most importantly, Play Treasure Coast. I had the pleasure of interviewing the president of USA Diving, Lee Michaud, here today at this beautiful facility. So if you're looking for a getaway, come to the best coast, the Treasure Coast. Check out the Kimpton Hotel. This view of the beach, everything is phenomenal. So be sure to check them out and let them know that we sent you.
We were housed in Indiana for years and years, and when COVID hit, we shuttered our office there because, for one thing, no one was going to the offices anymore, and for another thing, it was costing us a ridiculous amount of money to pay rent and utilities when we were basically shut down. All the Olympic sports were pretty well shut down for almost a year. And so you got no revenue coming in. Your kids can't train. My
It's gonna
staff's
make
not coming to the
difficult,
office,
yeah.
and we're paying all those bills. So shuttered it. Through a number of associations, we formed a strategic alliance with Indian River State College, and they've been fantastic to us.
Which is right here on the Treasure Coast, Indian River State College, which is an amazing college here. So how did you form that partnership?
So a chairman of our board, actually through relationships that went back to his days at Auburn University.
Okay,
he
great
knew
school as well.
Absolutely. He knew the president of Indian River State College. They connected. They started talking about things.
See the connection.
And by the way, Dr. Moore at Indian River State College and the whole
Awesome.
crew at IRSC, man, I can't say enough about them. So good to us. So we started talking about what does it look like? And they had this this crazy idea in mind. They wanted to build a cutting-edge, state-of-the-art pool because they already have this incredible swimming and diving program there. Their men have won 50 championships in a row. 50.
52 out of 54, I think, in the past few years.
Something crazy.
It's a ridiculous stat. There are champions here on the Treasure Coast.
And
people.
the women have won 47 or 48. So we started talking about the synergy and what that looked like, and it was like a no-brainer.
It was a handshake ready to be made, right?
It was. And so he said, you know what you need to do is you got to pack up and move down here. We'll give you office space. We'll put you in this. We'll give you all the amenities you need. And we're going to build a pool. And how can you say no to that, right?
You're coming here to the good life. You wake up every day in paradise here on the Treasure Coast. You have an amazing training facility. And probably sounds like you maybe have a little bit of a farm club here because at the JUCO level, we have championship divers. Do those athletes have a chance to start getting into these types of programs?
They do. Some of the divers that actually come from IRSC have gone on to dive D1, won NCAA championships, made national teams, won national championships. They've got a rich history here. And what's even better is the density of divers. So aquatic sports, you got a few places around the country where there's a lot of them.
There's pockets, right?
Florida's a pocket for us. You talk about a talent pool. Florida's it.
But Florida has a talent pool, period, for a lot of sports. And that's great that diving's one of them as well.
Absolutely. So we got down here. We've been here ever since. And see, we're 3 years into this now. And they are supporting us at a level that a true partner would support, including things like technology, Adobe suite of products. They support our email platform. They do all of these things for us. So it's a true
Wow,
partnership.
it is a partnership. That's amazing.
Can't say enough about it. Great folks. And whenever there's a chance for us to cross-pollinate and work together on brand development, we do it whenever we can.
And that's amazing. And I love that because it's so important to give back to the communities where you live. That's why I always say you got to give where you live. You got to support your athletes, your businesses, anything that here's Treasure Coast. We love putting a spotlight on.
Absolutely.
So how can us and the audience here help shine that spotlight brighter on USA Diving and what you guys are doing on a national scale, but also here locally on the Treasure Coast at IRSC? How can we help support you guys bring that gold home when we have home turf?
Thank you for asking. So there's a number of things. First of all, we got a very large social media presence. So if you just go and look for usadiving.org, you'll get to our website. If you look at our Instagram page, we got a huge following. And there's great stuff on there all the time. From the little ones, we got little guys, 8, 9, 10, 11 years old, who are learning to dive, and it's some of the best stuff you've ever seen in your life. The content is amazing. And then you've got the Olympic hopefuls that are diving their tails off right now. We just got done with an American Cup event where we dominated. We won, and I don't remember the exact number, but I think it was 14 of 17 events, something like that.
Let's go.
Absolutely. So just, you know what? Stay on social media, support. When you see something you like, tag it, share it, do what you got to do, and then let us know you like it. And then if you see content that you really, send some feedback. Let us know what you want to see. We'll get it out there. We'll make sure you got it. The other thing I would say is that when you take a look at a place, if you're not from the Treasure Coast, if you're not from Florida, and you want to bring your family somewhere, come visit. Take a look at it. You can't beat it. We're looking at, you guys can't see it, but we're looking at the most amazing beach that you've seen in your life. And I sent a picture earlier to someone who's very special to me because I wanted to move here. Come here and visit this place. You can't beat it.
100%. Lee, I appreciate your time. USA Diving, they're going to bring the gold home in the Olympics. Home turf for the Olympics. Support. Follow them on social media. Follow Indian River State College. Keep it local. Keep it hype here. And let's go. Let's win together.
Go USA.